Here again, once again, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I'm bringing you Detroit Become Human. Uh, so let's see. Let's delve into this update on Detroit Become Human, which is a game obviously will be released and was actually announced in E3 this year for 2016. And most of these games that are announced now will not come out probably until after E3 events, or probably late July, August, mostly into the autumn and winter time frame because they like to take advantage of the holiday sales, of course. So let's see here. So let's start from the top, of course, and we work our way down as we add information to the game. So Detroit Become Humans offer players agencies a dystopian future setting. So what we can tell already is that it is available. It is for PS4. Detroit Become Human. Not only that, the game itself revolves around a futuristic setting, and judging by the title, Detroit Become Human, it has a lot to do with the city of Detroit, the motor city, of course. Almost had trouble saying that. So that accent though. So David Cage and his team at Quantic Dream gave themselves a rule. This would be a game set roughly 20 years in the future, and all tech must be based on stuff. And all tech must be based on things that are very advanced overall. Nothing too crazy, you know. But let's delve in here. Let's continue. I don't understand why all this stuff just continues to annoy me. So, and tech based on stuff that's at least being worked on in labs today. So basically, anything that will be released 20 years into the future is being worked on today in the lab, as you already know. Basically, technology that will be released 20 years in the future is being worked on now. Not it won't be worked on next year or the year after that. Anything that's going to be released 20 years from now is being worked on, which is currently being worked on technology-wise. So basically, the game is based off of that. So what they saw behind closed doors at the PlayStation booth here at the E3 was the same sequence shown off in the trailer during the PlayStation presser. They saw that the level played twice, once with a successful yet still off ending, and again with a completely successful ending. Before the demo, David Cage spoke with them about what makes Detroit Become Human. The game that it is, it's a lot like Heavy Rain. The story will be told from the perspective of multiple characters that meet and overlap with different moments. Just like the Heavy Rain, these characters can die and their part in the story will stop there. We have met two characters now. The previously announced Kara and the just revealed Connor Cage tease that more may or may not be coming. Suggest that they absolutely will. So also, like Heavy Rain is a game, of course, that's heavily based on his son and his dad. His son goes missing, and it refers to this killer. You gotta get through this maze in which you see the dad stepping on glass. He gets hurt and all this stuff, and he wins all this just to save his son. And he finds out that his son is actually in a kind of a drainage system, and he's like locked in a drainage system. He's pretty much just like, as it rains, the water rises and he's drowning. And he mentions to his dad, it's very cold, I want to get out of here. His dad does mention to actually save him at the end of the game, you know. And but otherwise, that Heavy Rain was a pretty sentimental game. It has to do with the dad and his missing son overall. But it starts with a nice, introduction with the party and everything, getting ready for a party, picking up the cake, obviously, and then everything goes downhill from there. And then we talk about a killer that each time, and talks about a killer. He becomes a detective, and he has to analyze what's going on and the disappearances of these people. And for each time he does, this happens to be like this origami shape, and he has to open it to unlock the next clue. So also like Heavy Rain, it is a Quantic Dream's goal to let players be co-authors in the storyline. Your choice will script the game, and it seems like each scenario and even the game itself could unfold in tons of different ways depending on the choices they make that will impact your decisions. As for the gameplay itself, in the case of Connor, players play an android build specifically to hunt down deviant units. That is, androids that have gone against their programming and disappeared or turned aggressive to humans. Cage himself noted that he is this title's Blade Runner, hunting replicants gone bad. In the demo, Carter walks on a scene where an android has turned on the family that owns it, killed the father, and taken the daughter hostage while holding her over a ledge of the apartment's balcony. As Carter players investigate the scene of the crime, gather as much information as they possibly can through again Heavy Rain's-esque gestures slowly push their probability of success higher. A stat only Connor can see as characters thanks to his android design, and eventually take his knowledge and confront the deviant android that has caused this huge massacre right in front of him as the game begins. Once there, you have a wealth of choices. Some unlock thanks to the information you have gathered to talk with the deviant and try to successfully save the girl. Your choices here affect how the scene plays out, and ultimately whether you live or die as well. You die, your story ends there. It's not gonna go any further. That's it for your character. The story ends there. So that's pretty, it's pretty alarming that if you make the wrong choice, you die, and that's it for you. Your story ends there. And if you live, the story continues. And you keep making the right decisions, and you actually get to the true ending of the story itself. And he wrote the same thing a few years ago when he saw Beyond Two Souls, but Quantum Dreams games also seemingly play in similar ways. Some folks love the light interactive nature of the gameplay that let players become part of the time narrative, while others hate it. This isn't a cover shooter. It is a game built with players' tools that allow them to take ownership of the story and explore narrative standards. So if you're looking for a game that's a first-person shooter, you're not going to like it because you're thinking of more of aggressive kind of breakthrough ideals. This is question and an answer, getting a clue, context clue, factors, cause and effect. That's what this is. So if you don't like thinking, then you're going to really hate the game, but you love thinking like I do, being intellectual, then you love the game mostly likely. So the graphics overall are gorgeous, being for this time of the year, obviously in this time of history they're currently in, obviously 2016, gorgeous graphics in video games, looks lifelike, right? And the setting is wonderful, and Detroit Becomes Human's take on making the androids the good guys, while the human host problematic motives all come together to make this title compelling. Quantum Dreams games are always divisive, but so far I'm excited to see where this one goes. Overall, due to the fact that you make your own decisions, just to get me excited, for the game overall, and see the decisions I'll make, the decisions I make, that you make, that the whole world makes, that will be playing this game will affect your overall decision in progressing through the story. And the path is a constantly ever-changing path. You just gotta be careful where you tread or what answer you give, because you might die and your story might end very shortly. You don't want to be the person who's doing a walkthrough on YouTube and then you're like, huh, that's funny. My game just ended and I just started it like 5 minutes ago. It's because you chose the wrong choice, your character just died. So if you die, it's like real life, your story ends there, it does not continue. So the loft promises of complete player agency always carries a lot of potentially negative backlash if under-delivered. That always been Cage and Quantum's Dream biggest problem. It seems to them that the potential for a ride even better than Heavy Rain is here with Detroit Becoming Humans. Because lately Quantum, of course, Quantum Dreams have been facing a lot of Quantic Dreams, the company behind it, has been facing a lot of backlash as to the way they create games and such. So let's continue to add to this, and let's see what else can we actually drudge up from Detroit Become Human as we fully analyze a game that has a lot to do with your decision and your decision alone. So basically this was a little while back, of course. It explains basically until E3 begins, a lot of things yet have to be confirmed. One of the characters, its setting, human become Detroit, and the character's name is Detroit. But judging by the background, it looks like it could take place in Detroit or Motor City. If not, it could take place somewhere else. It is a PlayStation exclusive. I want you guys to keep in mind in that. And when I played Heavy Rain, I remembered a lot of decisions that I made that actually affected. And you have little arguments between the detective, obviously, and the other, I forgot the guy's name, the detective and the head police officer, and things got very dicey real quickly. So, and you also see the character grow and become more decisive as well to finding his son as things continue to think. And he has like the Google Hollow glasses. He says hollow glasses. He says open clues, and then you see open evidence, and then you see like all the evidence is opening, and he's just clicking on them, throwing things on the trash to the hollow glasses, and then pretty much enlarging things, seeing clues, things that others cannot see because he has a hollow glass, honestly. So basically with that, without further ado, that's all I can offer really when it comes to updates on Detroit Become Human, a very futuristic game, very high tech. Your decisions matter, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me today on this video, and I'll continue to pump out videos for you today, of course, to at least 2 o'clock-ish, if not earlier than that. I'll probably round up ending my reviews and updates for the day. So thank you very much. But for right now, we have more coming up for you, so just stay tuned. And I'll continue to have those videos up for you guys constantly, one after the other. Especially this weekend, we have a lot to analyze when it comes to video game wise. And I will be releasing a whole bunch of other reviews that have to do mostly with manga. So just stay tuned for that.